Hello and welcome to the next episode of my prem predictions. Today we're doing game week 14 and it is a midweek game, so this will be out very quickly, so bear with me, y'all. I also have my friend who knows absolutely nothing about the sport with me to make his predictions. So it's gonna be entertaining. Are you ready to make your predictions, Jacob?
No, but I'm going to anyways.
All right. So the first game is Ipswich versus Crystal Palace. This is probably going to be a boring game because Crystal Palace sucks this season. They're really feeling the pain of losing their key player, and they have not been able to. They've like won one game, right? And you got Ipswich Town is a relegation type team, and I expect absolutely nothing from them. But with Crystal Palace's really poor form, I think that Ipswich can come away with something, so I'm predicting a 1-1 draw.
I think Ipswich is gonna probably gonna win by 1 point.
One goal,
I don't
1-0, or what?
I don't know what the score is gonna be, but I'm feeling a 1 point lead.
Hmm. You know what? I can see that happening too. Next game is Leicester City versus West Ham. Now, Leicester City has a brand new manager in Ruud van Nistelrooy. Um, he got battered last week. I was not expecting that. Um, but he has a lot of quality, so I think he can pick steam up, but it's too early for him to have an impact. But they're playing West Ham, and West Ham, as we saw in the last game, the Arsenal game, they were terrible. I'm sure they got 2 goals away, but they really didn't offer a ton anywhere. So I'm seeing another draw here. I'm seeing another draw here. 2-2.
Yeah, I'm seeing a draw of like either a draw or like a 1 point lead at most. And by a 1 point lead, I mean there's one goal and the rest of the game is just boring.
Next game is Southampton versus Chelsea. This is an easy one to predict. Southampton, they have shown some stuff to me this season. They have proven that they do have a lot to offer. They nearly got a draw from Liverpool. Did the same for Arsenal early on in the season. But I think that this Chelsea team is going to be too much for them. I think that Chelsea is just in great form. This new manager has transformed the entire team. So I'm expecting a 3-1.
3-1, huh? How about 3-2? I'll
3-2
say 3-2
to Chelsea or to Southampton?
to Chelsea.
All right, I can see that one happening too. Man City versus Nottingham Forest. This one,
Man City. I'm not even waiting for that one.
Man City is in poor form. Right, there's so much wrong going on. I was hoping for a 1-1 draw against Liverpool, just so that way the title race would be a little bit closer. But Man City just looks terrible on the defense. They need to get that fixed. And then the offense isn't offering nearly enough. Um, Foden hasn't been nearly as good as he was last year, and you can see the age in a lot of the other players. And Nottingham Forest has kind of been on a downward slope. I know they had a crazy start to the season, but what I can see, I can see them coming for a result here. I think there's going to be goals because Man City's leaking, and I think it's going to be 2-2. I'm predicting a lot of draws.
I'm gonna go 3-1.
3-1?
Man City loses. Or wins, I mean.
All right. Newcastle Liverpool. I have what I hope to see, and I have an expectation. Newcastle has, as I said before, is such an iffy team. They can come in and look so good against the big teams, and then against another team, they'll be kind of average. And saw that last week, right? They had a 1-0 lead the entire game, and they lose it. And they're coming up against the Liverpool, who is looking to be the best team in all of Europe.
And who predicted that about half a year ago? I wonder, without even looking at football before.
I think I think this is going to be a harder game than most people are expecting because Newcastle is always a tough place to go to play at. I am expecting a 1-0 for Liverpool. What I'm hoping for, again, is a 1-1. I want to see Newcastle grind out a result, but I don't think we're going to see it.
2 or 3-0.
Wolves versus Everton. Both of these teams are not great this season. Everton never had, it for a while hasn't been at that level. But Wolves, to me, has shown a little bit more. A couple weeks ago, they had a really good result against Fulham. I know last week was not the result they wanted, but I can see them coming here looking for a result, and I can see a 2-0. I think Everton just isn't it this season.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one.
Now, this one's another fun game. Arsenal, Man United. Man United
I think
has. Oh, no, you can go
I
ahead.
think Arsenal I think is going to be the winner, but it's going to be like a 2-1 or 1-0.
Now, I think about the same thing. Man United has their new manager having just come in, Ruben Amorim. You can see he does have a game plan. He does have ideas, right? But this is a big game for his third game at United to be playing Arsenal. I think they would have been better off to have Arsenal way early on in the season because they're picking up form now. They're winning their games by a lot of goals. They're a little bit more consistent. The defense is looking better. I think altogether Arsenal is going to have too much, but I also think United can get something. I am predicting a 2-1 or maybe a yeah, I'm going to go with the 2-1. Aston Villa Brentford. Gosh dang, I was exactly right with what I said last week. Aston Villa cannot handle the amount of games they have this season. They just don't have the depth. Champions League and the Prem have started to it started to run them down a little bit. They started off so well in the season, but last week again we were shown this team cannot handle it all. Chelsea absolutely battered them. But they're playing Brentford. Now Brentford is having a really good season. I think they're in the top 10, which is insane for them. I think Aston Villa needs something here, and I think they're going to get it. I think it's going to be a 2-1, but they're going to have to grind for it.
I think it's going to be 1-0 Brentford.
You think Brentford's going to come out with something?
Yeah, I think they're going to pull a hat trick.
Next game, Fulham versus Brighton. I am a Fulham fan this season. Just because I love to see players who have the talent get the chance to shine. And I think Emil Smith Rowe being on that team is part of the thing. They really have punched above their weight. They do look like a fun team to watch, but they're also playing Brighton. Now Brighton does have quality. I think they can both push for Europe this season, but a lot of the teams in the Prem are starting to catch up. I think they're gonna cancel each other's quality out, and I think it's gonna be 2-2.
I think that it's going to be 2-0 with Brighton coming out on top.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope not. I got some Fulham players on my FPL. The
Now I
last
hope they lose.
the last game is Bournemouth versus Tottenham. I have said this over and over again. Tottenham does not play well against mid to small teams. They just don't. Everybody was expecting a ton from them after they beat Man City with those 4 goals. They play terribly when they play a team at a mid level. I don't I don't see them winning this game, especially with Bournemouth having come from that big game last weekend, just scoring so many goals. I think they're going to be confident, and I think they're going to push for something here. I'm going to see 2-0. Tottenham's going to disappoint. Again, they're going to be Spursy.
I'll do 1-0.
1-0. I don't think our predictions have been that far off today.
Yeah, except for the Liverpool. They're going to slaughter.
I don't know. Newcastle's such a difficult place to go to.
Yeah, but I made the prediction, therefore it has to be true.
But if we go and look at the standings of the Premier League, I think
No, 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 no.
no,
I said it has to happen.
I'm not arguing that. I think if we look at the standings of the Premier League, we can clearly say that Man City's out of the race.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
they're 11 points behind Liverpool, and that's something I can't see being overcome. I said this before. It's just such a huge gap. The
It
race,
is.
if you can call it a race, at this point, is between Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. I don't know that Chelsea has the experience to take it all the way, right? They have a brand new manager. Sure, a lot of those players are waking up and they're looking good. I just don't know if they can take it all the way. And Arsenal had a rough start to the season. I wouldn't even see it was that bad, but it was enough to bring a 9 point gap. I I think Liverpool might straight up run away with the title.
I feel like Chelsea's going to give them a little bit of a hard time.
I think they could. But Chelsea has also shown against those bigger teams to sometimes falter, right? Because they played Man City early on in the season and they lost. They played Liverpool and they lost. They just didn't have enough to offer. A lot of their players are not big game players. I love Cole Palmer. He has so much talent, but he doesn't show up in big games.
It's just a gut feeling. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of excitement there.
And then we look at the relegation battle. The relegation battle, everything is so close, right? They pretty much are on. They are on really close points. It's a really hard thing to tell. I think Southampton does look like it's guaranteed relegation because there's so many points behind. But Crystal Palace, Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester, even Everton, they're all within a couple points of each other. So I think that'll be something to look out to. I think Southampton's going to go down. I think Ipswich is going to go down. They've shown some grit, but I don't know that that's going to be enough for the Prem. And then it's hard to tell. I want to say Crystal Palace because you just see so much of their attacking flair has been gone this season. Olise really was the key.
I'm going to say Everton.
You think Everton's going to get relegated?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised about that one. But those are our Prem predictions. We went a little bit more in depth than last time. Let's see how many I get right and how many he gets right. I have a bad feeling that he's going to absolutely shame me and have way more right.
You know it.
I'm also really interested on the Golden Boot race because Mo Salah from Liverpool, he's doing incredible things. He really is starting to catch up to Erling Haaland, which is crazy to think he's still top from the start of his season. And then if you look at the assists, it's pretty close between Saka and Salah. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.